Guys, so welcome to our fourth video. Now this requires a bit of instrument. So this is a Massai African Earring Massai. So you'll be working with seed bead. This is a size 2 seed bead. Some call it sand bead. And then you work with a 0.50 wire and also a 0.80 or 0.90 wire. You'd also need your cutter and your round nose. Then this instrument is called gizmo. Remember I told you this design requires a bit of instrument. This is called gizmo. So first thing first, I'm going to pour my sand bead or seed bead into a bowl. I'm working with a size 2 seed bead. If you want, you can work with a size 1 or a size 3. Size 3 would not usually come out fine. So you can work with a size 1. Size 1 is tinier. Size 2 is average. Size 3 is a bit big. So I'm going to pick my 0.50 fish line, and then I'm just going to put beads inside the fish line, just like how I'm doing. It feels like I'm when I'm putting with needle and then I'm putting something inside the thread. Don't worry, if this style is not working for you, you can use the one picking it one after the other, but I mean that's just a bit slow. So now I'm done. This is like measuring like 41 inches or thereabouts. So I pick my gizmo and then I will wrap my wire around it. Can you see that? And then I'll put it in the exact hole. And this gizmo has different sizes. It always comes in the pack like that. So what I'm going to do first is, okay, normally I'm supposed to put this on a table, but I thought that wouldn't be necessary. But I'm going to show you guys the exact way I have to put it on a table. So this is how you secure it on the table. So I'll put it where the hole is, and then you can just put this one down. So the first thing first is you wrap plain wire first, just like I did. If you look closely, I wrapped only wire, then I started wrapping the beads around it. So once I'm done, pick another bead up and wrap it around. Repeat the same thing, pick another bead and wrap it around. Okay, depending on how big you want your earrings to be, if you don't want it to be so big, you can stop at this length. But I mean, I want to make something very big. And it's not compulsory that you have to work with this exact color. You can work with a plain color. So if you see that I marked where I stop because I have to make the same length for the second pair. So can you see that when I was done with the bead, I just rolled only wire on the gizmo, so that way it secures the beads. Can you see that? So you roll just wire first without the bead, and then you roll it around the bead. Look at this one too. When I was done, I just rolled only wire around the gizmo. So that's it. I'll pick my points. This is a 0.80 wire. You can also work with a 0.90, and then I'll just pass it into it, starting from that wire wrapped. Bring it out from the other wire wrapped. Can you see? And then bring it together. Let the wire be at least long. So what I'll do next is, can you see design? I'll just pick soda wire and then just turn it round, wrap it round. Can you see? I just do that like once, like twice or thrice. So once I'm done, it's secured. I'll pick the cutter and cut, and then I'll just use a flat nose. It's not really necessary, but it's a flat nose. And then this, bend it at the side because I wanted to give it that loop kind of shape. Then I'll pick my round nose. Look at how I'm placing my hand, and then put it over. Can you see that? So now you can adjust the earring to how you want it to be. But now let me show you how to make an earring hook. So look at how I place my hand. Make a loop first. Do you see that? And I pick a pencil or a biro, and then place it. Watch the direction properly. Wrap it around exactly like that. You see that I placed the looped one up, and then you cut. And then I'll just bend it a bit to give it that earring hook thing. And then I'll pick a nail filer and then I'll just file the edges so it's not that sharp. So it's just a bit blunt so it doesn't pierce your skin. So can you see that? So next I'll open this loop and I just put it inside and close. So can you see, like, it's almost like a earring hook. So I'm going to adjust this to whatever shape I want. If you want it like an oval shape, you can adjust it. If you want it like a circle shape, you can adjust it. So you're going to repeat the same thing for the second hair. And that's it, guys. That's how to make a Massai African earring.